Hi, in this video I'm going to go over the installation of the Remis Cab Blind kit for a Fiat Ducato. I don't know if it's Remis, Remy or Remis or whatever, but just to start this pun, because it's probably going to continue throughout the video, it would be remiss of me not to take the mickey out of the name of it. Sorry. There's the first one done anyway. So yeah, it's two side blinds for the left and right windows, and the windscreen blinds as well that come together. The concertina blinds kit, so they fit within the frameworks that they come with. They don't therefore get in the way of your view out at the side or at the front in any way. My model of the Fiat Ducato panel van is 2018, so it's the one with the kind of flat headlights, which changed in 2014, and the previous model to that where you had kind of teardrop shaped lights on the front, and I think this kit fits all of those. I spoke to the manufacturer and they have no reason why it shouldn't. Apparently they said the only people's vans that doesn't fit are made by Marquis, because they use a different headlining. So it's worth checking out anyway. I'll put all the links and everything in the video description down below. So you'll need a drill, a 2.5mm drill, a small pointed Phillips head driver and a bigger fat head driver, a pair of pliers, grippy kind of like leather gloves or rubber gloves or something like that to get a grip of the dowels as you're screwing them in. So I would say that each side is going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to fit the side blinds. I'd also say the windscreen is going to take you between 30 minutes and maybe an hour, because there are some tricky bits in there. One side, the left hand side, is very simple. The right hand side, you've got to attach everything before you assemble it back up. So that one gets quite tricky. And then there's a couple of screws that you need to put in the middle for the top shroud and the bottom rail support, and they get quite tricky as well, just because the rake of the windscreen's right in the way. So yeah, just give yourself enough time to do it. With having the doors open and things like that, you need a dry day. I wouldn't say you need anybody's help whatsoever. I did it on my own and went through it all no problem whatsoever. So something I want to point out straight away is, no matter whether you've got a right-hand drive vehicle like mine or a left-hand drive vehicle, what the instructions from myself and the book are guiding you towards is, as you are inside your van and you're looking at the dashboard, the left-hand side is that way and the right-hand side is that way. Right, that's enough of me waffling on, so let's get to it. So I'm not that brave or that stupid, whichever way you want to call it, and I've printed off the instructions. So we're going to start off by removing the pre-existing frame, the plastic that goes around there. There we go. So it looks like on the back here we've got some clips at the top there which correspond to those holes there. We've then got two clips there which correspond with the hole there and there. Obviously I'll remove that plastic one which is part of the other one, and then it looks like on the side bit there where you've got these three bits that are sticking out, they relate to these three bits there. So I can get rid of those. So this little clip's in the pack, and what it does, it allows the system to lock into place at the lower part of the window frame, but it's a little bit tricky to actually install. You need to drill a hole for it. So what they've put is some grooves on the back there that actually cup around that kind of installation. And what that does is, with the sticky pads on the back, as you go and install the window against the frame, the sticky pads hold it in place, and then drilling it is a breeze. So yeah, drop that over, push it there, and then I can stick it on, and then yeah, screw that hole. Right, so that's now stuck in place. So I'm going to drill in the middle of it, and then we're going to screw it in. So here's that bit fitted, screwed in and everything. All we need to do now is fit the window blind to make sure that we can do the rest of it, make sure it all fits in place, get our points all lined up. So fitting the clips in place, making sure that clip at the back there does actually fit in and slots in. And then just basically push fit the rest so all the clips fit in correctly. Remember, you've got 2 clips across the top there, and then 2 at the bottom, so just give them a bit of a tap and they should fit in. And then it is just a case of screwing that top bit in. But first we need a 2.5mm drill bit just to make a pilot hole in the top there. Once we've created the pilot hole, we can then screw it in, and that's that door finished. And we would be remiss not to fit the Remis logo cap. I had to do it. I'll probably do it a few more times as well. It'd be remiss of me not to do so. Voila. Blinding, mate, innit? Now for the other side. So same process, remove the original window surround, remove those little clips, plastic and metal ones, get them all out of the way, fit the new little lug there on the back, take the tape off, stick it down properly, make sure it's in place so that you can then drill and screw that in place. So this is just to hold the bottom of the frame in place. That's why you then have to drill and screw the top so that the back is all held in. Fit the frame, make sure it's all nice and snug, make sure all the clasps and everything are fitted in there. That's all done. And then, like I say, we're just going to drill and screw on that top frame, make sure it sits in properly. Give it a bit of a tap around, make sure it's in, and refit the Remis little badge. We would remiss not to be. The front bit, I've got to make sure I don't damage the alarm sensors. I've also got to disconnect the tweeters, part of the stereo system as well, and reconnect them on their bit. So again, I'm taking off the mouldings that came with the van and replacing it with their mouldings with the internal blinds in them. So the first thing I need to do is pull this rubber off to allow me better access to this panel. And then when I pull this panel off, I've got to be cautious about that alarm sensor. So the panel came off pretty well. Those are all the clips and everything like that it's held in with. So all I need to do now is get this tweeter out of there. So that's the tweeter out for the stereo. Obviously place that carefully to one side, and this is the old panelling that's now done and out of the way. So let's go and unpack the parts list and see what we've got. So unpacking is quite a crucial stage. Make sure you've got everything you need in there. It comes with installation manuals if you need it, and a pack of the screws and felt and all that kind of stuff in there as well. So just make sure you've got that. That is one part of the top cover that screws into the top of the windscreen that kind of hides the rails and everything like that. So there's 2 parts to that bit. And then obviously we do need the right hand side of the blind, so that's going to go on the right hand side. Obviously the blind and everything's built into it, so they're quite compact. Those 2 pieces I had there, they're crucial, they're spacers. We'll cover that in a minute, but obviously they've fallen off during transit. And that's the left hand side, and then you've got your 4 rods that are the bits that the blinds run on. So I've fitted these little extension posts that come in there that look like they make this bit stand a little bit prouder at the top there, to give it some clearance maybe to sit over the top of the headlining. So I'm going to reconnect everything and give that a go.
So now just get the tweeter you took out before, put it into the new part, same place, same type of clips, clip the wire in afterwards, and then everything else should clip in. Just align all the clips from the actual panel into the white clips on the side. So just have a look before you assemble it all and you'll see them all line up, and then once you've lined them up, just give it a bit of a push and they should all fit in there very nicely. And when you're aligning these back up, what you're trying to do is get those clips all to align back in. So once you've clipped everything in place and that side's all nice and snug, pull the blind out a few times, make sure it's not catching on anything, and then you can refit the door rubber. Obviously give it a proper shove, make sure it sits in there nice and tight.
So using those little extenders, it does fit a little bit better there. Fits all the way down nicely, so really clear now, really clean. So yeah, now carry on with the other side. I'll fix that in place later with a little bit of tape or something like that, a little bit of foam. Okay, so that looks like that worked then. So I'll show you on the other side what it is. They seem to have included one straight off the bat, but giving you a second one, and then just it has the letter R on it. So it's a shame that there's no mention in the booklet whatsoever about what they are, but essentially what they do is they make that top clip stand up that little bit more proud so that it goes over the top of the roof lining. So we've now got these 4 guides that are the rails that go across the top and bottom of the blind system, and the instructions are that you start off on the left hand side. So I'm going to go for the short and the longest of all the 4 rods. So the first thing it says is the upper is the short, so that's the short, and then all we're doing is screwing it into the end. So you've got to find the one that's got the screw in there and screwing it into the end up there. So let's get on with that. Seems to be going on forever. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then the second part says, and the lower long. On the left hand side, your fitments, the rods or whatever you want to call them, the slides, have got nothing sticking out, no silver bits whatsoever. And on the right hand side, you've got the sticky bits on one end, and on the other end a clear bit. So start off with the screwy end in that side.
Now the thread in that end, as you screw it on, is quite long actually, so don't be surprised if you're doing this for, you know, sort of like 30 seconds or so. It will go tight when that rod is fully screwed in. Now open up the bag of bits and you'll find this little bracket, and that's to hold the bottom rod in place. So slide it over there. Don't do anything else for now because you still need to assemble the right hand side. What you'll end up doing is taking the sticky pad off once you've assembled everything, stick it on there, and then obviously screw it in place as well.
So on the right hand panel, you've got to screw these on yourself. They don't screw in like the other side. So they give you these little screws. Make sure you get the white plastic end, flat end, pop it through the hole there, through there, and then it lines up. For this bit I'm going to use a rubber glove or leather glove, whatever you want, because this is spinning when I'm trying to tighten it up. So what we've done there is we've put these dowels in place, these rods, and then with the provided screw, we've basically screwed it in through that hole there, and we've done the same down the bottom as well. So now we've got the 2 rods in this bit, and then we're going to put it back on that side and line it all up so they meet the rods that we've put in on that side through these little connector bits. So over on the right hand side now, we're going to put on the top cowling. So this is kind of like the window shady bit that sits like that, and it's going to slot into there when we fit it together. More importantly, that has got to go into there. So what you want it to do is for that to stick into there like that, and then that bit threads through that little bit there. So now your whole assembly should look like that on the right hand side, and then it's just a case of popping it back onto the pillar.
So just as we did on the other side, don't forget you must reconnect the tweeter down at the bottom there, and once you've connected the tweeter, it's a case of just lining up all those connectors so they sit back into each other nice and tightly, and then you can realign the top bracket there and connect the dowel rods and everything like that. There's enough movement once you've reconnected this bit to be able to connect the top bits and feed them back into each other. But it's just a case on the right hand side there, just making sure that everything is pushed in nice and tight. Give it a bit of a thump so that all those clips go into place properly, and then it should just be a case, like I say, putting anything back in place like the rubbers and things like that, so it's all nice and finished, and then you can complete the top bit.
So they've given you these things that you're supposed to drill a hole through your roof lining and then turn them around like that. They're a bit like plasterboard, drywall, kind of like fixings. I don't like them, so I've gone for inch screws and little plastic caps that allow me to then pop little covers over them so I can completely finish them off.
So by pulling the blinds together, it finds the center point for the lower support bracket. Once you've done that, you can peel off the little sticky back, stick it down, and then obviously they advise you to screw it down as well. It's a real pain because there's no gap really between the screw and the windscreen, so a right-handed or right-angled screwdriver really helps.
So the quality and the finish on the inside is really good, the way it matches in with the rest of the van. Really pleased with that. Everything looks really nice, well kind of like matched in. You know, you can't really tell at any point that it wasn't, you know, designed to be there, so they've done a really good job of matching that in. You got this top cover as well as a little bit of a blind, a bit of a shade. It was in the center there, really tricky to fit, but yeah, other than that, that's all been done really well. Like I say, the fit and finish, quite happy with that one. It's turned out really well on both sides. On the driver's side, you know, everything kind of like fits well. You can still get down there for the handle, so you've still got enough space to everything, and these operate really well. So to open and close, you know, it's just a simple thing. They just click in place, clip them in there like that, and then just drag it across. And it just drags into place. You know, it couldn't be more simple. Obviously it's not really a thermal blind as such, it is more for privacy, so you may find that it's still cold coming through there, or heat coming through there in the different climates, and also you'll probably still get condensation on the glass. And then to close up again, and slide it back and it clicks back into place like that. The front screen is just the same as it comes across. You'll notice as well on the top part there, it looks like it kind of moves, and it does actually, because it gets around the support for your rear screen, or whatever you want to call it, you know, rear view mirror, rear screen. I've got a GoPro mount sticker on the screen there for my GoPro I use. That doesn't actually get in the way at all. So that does mean now that that fits around there really well. So yeah, that's pretty much all done now. All nicely finished off, and very happy with it. Everything closes in the middle there, so there's no gap. Yes, there is a small gap down the bottom of the screen, so you know, and I need to look into that. They do make a kit that solves that problem. However, no one seems to stock the kit at all. So the installation was a bit of a breeze, actually. On the left hand side, I kind of like started off wondering what the heck was going on. Their instructions, they're not great, unfortunately, and there are also bits in the kit that don't even tell you they're there. So hopefully this video will guide you along with their booklet, but you don't even need their booklet at the end of the day. I'm going to make the video so that hopefully it should guide you at every step what to do. So if you've got any comments or questions, please do ask in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. And if you did like it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.